Hey, Melody here, Chief Storyteller at the Fairy Dema Academy, where we help heart-based entrepreneurs tell stories that make their clients' dreams come true. And this is Ask Me Anything. And I'm here to answer all your questions. You have questions about writing, publishing, I have answers. So ask away. Today's question comes from a YVR Authors member, and it's a big question I get all the time, and so I thought this was a great time to answer it. The question is, how do I get organized to write? How do I get my writing organized? It's a great question. I have a lot of things to write. I write a personal blog. I write this Ask Me Anything. I do a lot of writing. So one of the things I do is I have documents for my blog. So let's just take that as an example. So I'll come up with an idea, I'll go and I'll open my document and I'll put down the title, I'll jot down notes, sometimes I'll write a full blog post, whatever I'm feeling inspired. And then I have another document called published or scheduled blog posts. And so one lets me put all the ideas down, and the other one tells me what I've already written about. So whenever I have an idea, I just pop over to that document and I put it in there. And if I don't happen to be home, I often email myself something. I'll just grab my phone and I'll send an email to myself and I'll just say blog post idea, and then I'll put the title and I'll just type whatever it is. And then when I get home and I'm going through my emails, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll open up my blog document, I'll copy and paste my message to myself, and then I'll just stick it in there. And so I write whenever I feel inspired to write. And then when it's time to publish it, I will go through what I've written and I'll say, okay, what looks good? Or maybe I'll say, what's timely? What's been in the paper? What's timely at this moment? Or maybe I'll say, what's already polished? Or I might say, I'm inspired to write something, I'm going to write something right now. But I get to choose because I actually have about 30 blog posts written. So if I can't think of anything to say, I'll go and I'll say, yeah, that's something I wanted to say. It's timely, it's evergreen, it's great. I can use that this week. Sometimes I'm out and I don't have my phone, and so I grab a notebook and I write something down. And it's good to be brief so that you're not spending a lot of time writing and then copying later, but make sure you understand your notes later. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you write something and then one day you look at your notebook and you're like, what in the hell who wrote that? Why do they have my writing? What does that even mean? I do that. I was like, oh, whose phone number is that? So, try to make notes that make sense. I've even once, I was at the gym and I was running on the treadmill and I had this really great idea and I really wanted to capture it, but I didn't want to stop running because I was training, man. I got to train, right? And so I was listening to my phone, I was listening to music, so I had my phone, I hit camera, I hit record, and I'm running and panting and like saying my idea and getting it out. And later I got home and I watched the video and I thought, ooh, that is the most unflattering video I've ever seen. But you know what? I captured the idea. So that's some of the ways I organize my writing. Something else I do if I'm writing something longer like a book, I will actually list out content ideas. And then when I have an idea for the book, I'm out to dinner, I have an idea again, I'll grab the phone, I'll say the content idea or the chapter name, I'll type in what I want. The email will come, I'll copy and paste it and put it in the right place, and then when I'm editing through, I'll flesh that out, I'll add examples and case studies or visuals, whatever I need around that. So that's how I organize my writing. You can also use things like Scrivener or other similar programs, software programs that have been developed specifically for writers. I don't do that. I use just a Word document, and then I have a binder as well. So if there are documents that I've come across, magazine articles, photocopies of things I have, things I've printed out that I want to read, I want to highlight, I'll have a book. I'll have a binder for my blog. I'll have a binder for each book I'm writing. And I'll just put things in there, and then I get to highlight and write notes. And so when I'm sitting at my computer writing, then I can pull out my binder, and I can look at my notes, and I can write from there. Especially when I'm writing something that I need to do research around. That's a really, really great way to do that. And of course, you can use Evernote as well. So I can have documents in Evernote, and sometimes I can have documents like real paper documents that I tend to put in a binder. I hope that helps you organize a little bit your writing and organize your ideas. You can apply this to anything, to ebooks, to full-fledged books, to blog posts, to Ask Me Anything. I do the same thing with Ask Me Anything. I have a questions asked with some notes that I've written down, whatever I happen to say at the time, and then I have published. And when I'm looking for questions, I'll go through and I'll find a question, and then I'll flesh that out, and I'll answer that in full, and then I'll sit here and rant at you like I am now, and I'll answer the questions. Then I'm Melody, Chief Storyteller at the Fairy Jima Academy, and this is Ask Me Anything, and if you have questions, ask below, and I will answer them, or ask me on Facebook, ask me on Twitter, Melody Ann, or email us at askus@fairyjima.com, and we will answer it in another Ask Me Anything. Have a great week. See you next Wednesday.